Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sohum Reactions. Today's request comes from Simon, who is sending us further into the English rock rabbit hole. We're going to be listening to Renaissance's song Island, then we'll be checking out She Moves Through the Fair by Fairport Convention. Now, first things first, we've listened to plenty of Renaissance on the channel, so I am familiar with their style, but technically, the lineup who played Island is actually different than the one that I am used to with Annie Heslem. So this lineup from 1969 includes Keith Relf, Jane Relf, John Hawken, Luis Sinamo, and Jim McCarty. We're going to see how different they are from the Renaissance that I'm familiar with, and then switch gears into the world of Fairport Convention, who I've never heard of before, but apparently they dominate in the world of English folk rock. So a lot of cool stuff to look forward to today. Once again, thanks to Simon for the request. But now, my friends, let's jump into it. Revolution Club. Quiet. But you can hit those high notes right up there. Oh, the chords are... The bed of chords in this are really fun to listen to. Nice. Oh, we're resolving on that same note. Da, da. It's kind of like a ceiling, sort of. There's a chord that I've been noticing that kind of darkens the movement because I can tell that that's happening because the high note that they're singing here doesn't change, but the feeling of the overall melody darkens a little bit. I think it comes from a movement in the bass guitar. See if you can tell where I'm noticing that. So it's up here. Right there. It's subtle. It's hard to point it out. But it's almost like a minor to major movement in the same chord. Like C minor to C major, something like that. And again, back to that ceiling. I like this melody. Not the best, not the worst. I think the more interesting part is happening in the chords below. Are we going to break through this time? Stays flat up there. I like the instrumental part a lot. What's happening now? Entering classical world. I mean, truly channeling our Renaissance period. Okay, hold on. I was going to say, before that massive transition happened, the instrumental part was probably the more interesting aspect to me. I think I could take or leave the vocal melody that I was hearing. It wasn't crazy dynamic, and once it got established, it was interesting enough, like, and definitely beautiful in the high notes with the interval between both Jane and his name is Keith. But outside of like establishing the melody and then reaching those high places, I didn't find that melody all too interesting. This transition has me very curious, though. I'm not sure where we're going to go from here. Oh, I really like this melody. It's reminding me of what is that player? Rachmaninoff or something like that? He's a Russian player. Building the darkness. And then the re-entry of the vocals, I really like this. Oh, that transition. Oh, it's reaching, it's reaching. That's all my favorite part of the song so far. Positively medieval. It's like a fugue. But I can't lie, I really love this melody. Wow. That is like the classical period to the end of a sentence there. Do, do. That resolution just feels so familiar to me. I've heard it in many classical pieces. I'm sure you all have as well. That song, I'm in like two worlds with this song because I feel like I like pretty much everything about it except for the production, and I'm just going to chalk that up to being 1969. It's a bit harder to hear some of the lower frequencies that they're blending in with one another. But what kind of is too jarring for me about the song is the difference in timbre between the vocals when they appear and the rest of that instrumentation. Like, I'll take my subjectivity out of the preference for melody out of it for a moment, but I feel like even past the melody itself and the vocals, the way the vocals and the rest of the instrumentation sit in this track is as if they are kind of oil and water. Individually, they sound nice, but both components together don't make as much sense to me. And the fact that we fully transitioned into like a classical piece basically towards the end almost has me like feeling like that is a just different song. All of the parts with the vocals, I will almost like reduce my discussion to that. I think the best contribution of the vocals in this came from the transitions towards the latter half. But I think the kind of like verse, pre-chorus, chorus structure with the initial vocal melody didn't really speak all that much to me. So just judging on this one short song, I will say that I prefer the Annie lineup of Renaissance, but if there's more for me to unpack with the 1969 lineup, please definitely send it my way. But yeah, I would say it's like a Renaissance song. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. It's sitting in this kind of limbo place for me. But let's see where we go with the Fairport Convention. I like the album cover here. Looks kind of drawn by chalk. What we did on your holiday. On our holiday. That's sweet. Oh, do you see this little text here? Noticeably, hold on, you can't see it. Noticeably worse sound, and then it has a little line coming out of, I think, the bass player.
My young love said to me,
Whoa.
my mother,
Whoa.
my...
That is pure folk technique in the vocals there.
And my father won't slight you.
She reminds me of Aurora.
For your lack of kind. And she laid her hand on me.
Oh.
And this she did say, oh, it will not be long, love.
Her voice is so compelling.
Till our wedding day.
Notice all the textures and the panning of the strings and the different drums. It's very
And she
atmospheric
went
like that.
away from me.
Oh, the power in her vibrato.
And moved through.
And then she quiets it down. She has a lot of skill, control.
And fondly I watched her move here and move there. And then she went homeward, just one star away. Like the swan in the evening.
It's helpful that this is in 4/4, because somehow the feel and the rhythm shifts the goalpost a little bit from the standard 4-bar measure. 4-beat measure, rather.
Last night she came to me.
Her crescendos.
My dead love came in. So softly she came that her feet made no din. And she lay.
You hear this kind of like bulbousy sound in the low frequencies. It's like a boom, boom, almost like a sub bass. I don't know. Whenever I hear that sound, I think of like an underwater torpedo being fired with like the sound traveling slowly through the ocean water. There's that like kind of feeling of having to push through a sort of sticky substance. There's I don't know, I'm thinking of like osmosis as an example.
Made no din.
Malleable membrane, but still some pushback.
And she laid her hand on me, and this she did say, oh, it will not
love the attention to detail in this. That is a beautiful, beautiful song. I definitely was more moved by the Fairport convention track here than I was the Renaissance one. Just from an emotional standpoint, I think the vocals alone did a lot. The way she entered immediately with all of that power and grace, I felt like her voice immediately drew me in, and then the rest of the textures from the strings, those low percussive frequencies, and then the kind of building of this melody when she would start to crescendo, all came together to make this a very powerful track. I particularly like her vibrato. I feel like she was able to very quickly enter it, and uniquely enough also very quickly increase her volume or decrease it while the vibrato is still running. Like imagine like you're kind of drawing a coil, but with volume the coil can get larger in circumference or a bit smaller, and she can just quickly tighten it or loosen it in either direction. She is just a very fluid singer. You can tell just from that one technique alone that she's extremely skilled. But the thing is, it works better with the interplay of the strings, because all of those unique textures, it was almost difficult to like pick one instrument to even focus on, because if I would pick just like the single plucked note in my right headphone, or like the few sub bass notes when they would appear, I would basically be getting like 20% of the song max at any point. Everything here had to come together to provide this like constellation of sounds feeling. We were like kind of rolling through the sequence of each of these elements being played, and all of that contributed to like the macro segment of that specific rhythm. I would almost say that like the point of a lot of these backing instruments is not melodic. It is far more textural. You're supposed to kind of hear all of the sounds placed differently in your headphones with, you know, either brighter timbres or something that feels a bit darker or muddier. I really like the attention of detail paid to the production here. I think that alone for me just made this a more enjoyable listen than what we had with Renaissance, unfortunately. But I would say like the vocals were like the top shelf item for me this time around. And you know, I think as I become more familiar with folk as a genre, the melodies are starting to speak to me more as well. And I think the clearest recent example I can give is my reaction to the album Blue by Joni Mitchell. At the beginning of that listen, I felt a little bit out of place, as though the melodies weren't properly kind of like, I was hearing them and I could notice all the intervals, but like the holistic movement of the melody wasn't making as much sense. And granted, British folk rock or English folk rock may have different tendencies overall, but I feel like I learned enough from the Joni Mitchell listen that going into this one, I feel far more comfortable with these vocal melodies, which gets me to like them a little bit more too. So it kind of works in both ways. There's like a direct effect, an indirect effect, a moderating effect. It's all very complicated, but at the end of it, She Moves Through the Fair definitely tops the two songs for me today. But please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I really hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you'd like to request one yourself, you can use the first link down below. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.